Laura?
Honest mystery here. Yeah, I finally got to see the Smile film. I heard good things about it, and it's really actually creepy in my opinion. So horror, physiological horror films are 55 minutes long, and I will say it's a good rating. It's people give it like 7.9 out of 10. That's like 79% of Rotten Tomatoes, but we usually give it around like 7 or almost like an 8 or 9-ish. It doesn't like go to a 9-ish, it probably goes around like an 8, probably like an 8 or 7 around that range. Uh, but um, but the synopsis actually for this film is I want to read the synopsis to you and tell you how I feel about it. By the way, after visiting a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing a frightening occurrence that she cannot explain. As overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive her escape for her horrifying new reality. Mostly is Rose has a backstory that from the beginning of the film, we notice some lady on the bed. And it actually shows uh, from the beginning, we don't know who the person is until later on in the film. We don't know what's her part of the film, what she is. Mostly in the film, she's Dr. Rose is a doctor, well, doctor, and she goes to she meets some person. Forgot the class members for that. Uh, the person who visits the doctor area is Laura Wheaton, and she is no, she does. Dr. Rose does not know that she's possessed with a demon yet, of course. So mostly, um, what happens is that the she's trying to explain to the doctor, the patient. The doctor had a patient named Lori. Mostly, she is trying to explain to Rose that what's going on is a demonic thing, and she can't explain what it is. She explains that it's a creature, something, whatever that is, and she still thinks that it's not insanity. But slowly, she finally understands later on in the film, or the one she first actually saw, or saw herself literally, uh, that personally killing herself first before she actually dies. Uh, she First she's trying to tell her that something's going on, whatever that is, and she still doesn't believe her, and her face slowly changes into the weird face. It's kind of creepy as hell. Actually, no, it's creepy as hell. Then when her face changes, she actually takes, I think she takes a knife out of her and literally slashes her face like this, and mostly blood's coming out. And she still stands, like she still bleeds out normally, and she's bleeding. But after that, she falls down with her face, the weird ass smile. Most people say that if you see that smile, once you see it, you can escape from it. mostly you will have the demonic thing. This story, she gets deeper and deeper in the story, much more how she gets it, and who else had it, and what's the thing connected to her thing, and whatever, whatnot. So it gets deeper into the story of the thing from it. So mostly this is the I believe this is actually my top one scary films I've seen so far that I really enjoyed. So let me see something here from it. Let me find something here. So suicide, experiencing. So mostly this is Rose suicide. Okay, I think this is a plot for this one, so I'll read that to you actually. Uh, at a psychiatrist ward, Dr. Cotter meets Rose Cotter meets with a patient named Lori Weaver, and who had several days earlier witnessed her go later on in the film, but an entity that takes form of a people like faces at her, so it gets more demonic afterwards. And that told her she is going to die. She begins with to have a mental breakdown. She does have a mental breakdown. Trust me, she does. During the film, she has a mental breakdown. She sees things. When she goes through something, and I feel like in this movie when I saw it mostly, I thought she goes inside. Then it feels like it didn't actually happen at that particular moment at all. So it gets much weirder, and it is creepy. I give you that. A lot of, like I said, think parts of the film, I don't think the scary moments like the jump scares are not that cheap and cheesy. I feel like it's realistic. It has good cinematography and, in other words, good characterization. Everything's really fantastic in my opinion. And breakdown, and we continue with this thing actually. Breakdown and confluence. After seeing the entity room, Rose turns turns away and calls for help. When she turns back around, she finds Lauren calmly smiling at her before cutting her down throat. Pieces broke down, vanishes. Mostly that's part of the thing I told you about. And following suicide, Rose witnessed Carl, another patient, smiling at her, shouting and she's going to die. She's ordered for Carl to be restrained, but suddenly seems Carl was asleep the whole time. Supervisor Dr. Morgan DCA gives her paid week off vacation, mostly 1 week off vacation, mostly to get herself back on track. As spiritual concerns continue, several harming Rosa relationship with her fiance Trevor and her sister Holly, who believes that she's going actually insanity. Rose had to be strained relationship with Holly ever since the death of her abusive mental ill mother. So there's actually more to that a story too as well, and how she also tormented with that evil mostly too as well with that, who overdosed with the whose body and was discovered by young Rose. Mostly in the film, we do see that her mother is ill, mentally ill, and she overdoses mostly, and she was gonna ask her daughter for help, Rose, but she was actually really young at that age. But instead of helping her, she literally died. So she's asking for help, but she didn't. She escaped emotion. I think she died from that accident, and literally that tormented Rose for a long time. Yeah. At her nephew's birthday. This one gets really as creepy as hell. Trust me. Part I was like, holy shit, did that really happen? It gets really weird. And yeah, of his birthday, Rose grabbed a gift has somehow been replaced with a dead cat. That one, that the cat's name is Mustache mostly. That's the uh, Rose, the doctor's cat. Mostly, what happened was it actually disappeared. Uh, Usually after mostly everything happened, it disappeared somehow. I don't even know how that happened, but it disappeared, and it landed on the gift that's supposed to be with the nephew. It was replaced. It was a fire truck, I think, and it got replaced with that cat, mustache. That cat. That sucks. Poor cat. But yes, which disappeared night before. Rose then seems a party attending, smiling to her, and visible to others. Mostly, no one else can see the entity, but Rose mostly, because I believe that whoever sees the smile or entity, whatever that is, that's the only person who can literally see it. That's my guess. So who else has not seen the thing, or who has not seen it, will not experience it. If people who have seen it, then they will see all that crap that's going on and be all tormented, all the bullshit that happens. So yes. So if you have not seen it, you have never seen it, you will not be able to see what's going on or what's there. So discovery Lori is professor was smiling at her during the of his death. Rose pays a visit to widow Victoria, who claims that her husband started acting differently after visiting a woman die by suicide. So also that too as well. The story it gets much more darker in the plot. Rose visited her ex Joel, police detective who had response to Lori's death. Uh, Going through a police record, they find a chain case where someone suffered plenty apparently apparently spiritually some spiritual hunting before killing themselves by smiling and passing the hunting on the witnesses. Something weird disturbance, guys. I don't know why they were doing it. They could have talked somewhere else. But yes, witnesses. Joe discovers that none of them are cursed victims lasted longer than a week. Mostly what happens is whoever actually sees this entity and sees this smell, they only last for a week, or sometimes they last for 4 days, depending on how they can handle this, and they usually will commit suicide after that. So yes. And now, weak expert Robert Achille, who was imprisoned for by killing strangers. Rose and Joel visit Tilly in jail. Mostly, Tilly actually escaped the weird demonic person, demonic thing. So mostly, I don't know how he escaped the demonic thing. Before Tilly was explaining to Rose how to extinguish that, but before he could finish, Tilly actually noticed that the demonic thing is in her. So he screamed and told her to leave, and we don't know how to. And she doesn't know how to manage it. So it actually speaks this, or explains the only way to break the chain to kill someone else in front of a witness to whom the curse will be transferred. So mostly, I think someone has to witness you. Then, after they witness you, then I think you're supposed to kill yourself. Whatever that is, then it transfers to another person. So mostly, I think the demonic thing will not die. Normally, in a way, people are assuming they're going to be a sequel to this thing and find a way to destroy it at the end. Who knows? But it feels like it does not end to that particular part of it. So yes. So mostly someone has to witness it, and then after they witness it, they see it, and then it transfers to a different body. That's it has. Mostly what I think is there has to be someone next to you to transfer to, or else you'll not be able to do it. So I think that's the main reason why she went to the house in the first place, her original house. So we'll go to the particular part. We'll get there soon. So yes, the entity later assumes form to Rose's therapist. That part was damn as creepy. So mostly, now the therapist actually has the weird demonic thing now. So they don't say if she died. I think she did, but we don't assume yet. But mostly, yeah, she gets a demonic face and weird, creepy face. Put words on that. Then Dr. Madeline Northcott and attacks Rose on her home during the important therapy session. In the session, she gets mentally creepy. The therapist does. The face demolition. Then, when that happens, telling her that almost time. Later, the hospital parking lot. Rose has a dream of murdering Carl in front of Denise. Denise, I think it's Rose. Who rips the skin off his face. So if you think about it, the person who plays as Carl is the same person who plays, damn, what was it? The White Castle, the White Castle film. I forgot his name, but he does a really good job acting. Let me see who that person is because I don't remember. You'll see, guys. Smile. We go to smile for a minute. Got that smile. Two. To cast. Okay, I don't see it here. It's weird. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't see the person here for the weird reason. We'll just call it. I'm not sure who plays as the person is, but if I actually find a different thing, 1 second. I'm gonna type in a different name. I'm gonna type in we'll type in White Castle for a moment. Wait. Dang it. I'm gonna type in that. Maybe see who plays is that thing, so I would know. Okay, the person who plays that particular that I was talking about is Calpine. Calpine. So he plays as that character, but he is a different version of that person who was talking about. So Carl. So the Calpine plays as Carl in the film. He's a little bit waiter because that's his person who's supposed to be as the acting person. So yeah, she actually Rose sees her face, ripping his face out because he actually sees. Rose actually literally stabs the weird laughing. Well, not laughing dude. He actually stabs the other guy. He's old, whatever that is. He actually he was smiling too as well. He stabs him. I think he does die, but not really. But mostly if you slap a lot, people will definitely die from that. But he was stabbing, and Carl actually scrapes his face and thinks that we feel that he does die, but mostly it was just literally a nightmare. So it's literally a nightmare from that. So yeah, so rips his skins off. Carl mockingly screams, distressed Rose. After spotting the knife inside of Rose's car, so Carl actually sees the knife in the car. This actually explains a lot of stuff. And this alerts the police to her. Rose drives to her remote, abandoned, formerly family home as Joel tries to track her down. So mostly, she goes back to her original house where she was born in and where her mother was a drug addict normally, and also being an abusive mother. And like I said, it's a nightmare for her right now because she has a trauma when she was a kid, and her sister actually left her there to. When she left, she had to do her on her own. Most people don't see her sister there because she left when that happened. So literally, her small sister was the one who took care of her when she was like that, and she was asking for help. That's when she literally died. Still tormented. on her age. She's older. So, planning to deprive the demon of witnesses. Mostly, she goes back to the original house, finds the demon. The mom mostly thinking about. She actually thinks that the monster is a demon. Looks into the mother and sees the monster was the demon, the mother part, you know. And she's trying to vanquish it by a fire, but mostly she epically fails in that particular part because when she jumps out of that thing, she thinks that when she escapes the thing, she actually goes out of the house and walks away, and mostly it actually does a twist where that she did not escape and the demon's still there. We assumed that it was destroyed, but it wasn't. We also assumed that it wasn't. So mostly that she is trying to destroy the demonic creature. So, I'm doing something. Yeah. Sorry about the disturbance, guys. What was I doing? Deprived demon witnesses. Roll holes up the house. She finds the demon having taken a form of her dead mother. That's what I said before. It took a form of her dead mother. And reveals that Rose had accidentally found her mother shortly after overdosing. Mostly it was not on she did not do that on purpose, it was by accident seeing her overdose mother that tormented her after that too. Witness her mother's death throes. But without inverting, Rose converts that entity of morphs into a tall, deformed version of Rose's mother. So it's pretty damn big. She sets entity on fire, gas lantern. This actually explains the entire thing, so it's a good thing. I'm reading it to you, even though it's a spoiler thing, so be careful, guys. So, seemingly killing the ending of the curse, the house burns down around them. We assume that it's destroyed, like I said. Rose drives through Joel's apartment, comforted by him, until she realizes the entity has taken his form. We also see, she also sees that the entity took a form of the cop, and she actually sees that it's still not destroyed, and she goes back to the house again once more. And as she flees, Rose discovers that she's still in the old house. And just as a real Joel arrives, the real Joel does arrive, but she doesn't open the door after that. And everything that happened in front of the moment she enters the house with hallucination. She is hallucinating like crazy. And she goes back into the house again. Panicking, Rose locks herself into the house. Yeah, she does panic a lot. And the entity appears to rip off of his own face, revealing its true form. It's creepy as hell, trust me. That's the scariest one I've ever seen in my entire life. Creepy as fuck. It's super damn creepy. Trust me, it is. Revealing the true form. The skinless, long-necked creature nested jaws before forcing Rose's mouth to open, crawling into the body. Now the demon is actually into Rose's body now, physically. Now Joan breaks into the house, eventually finding Rose, who doses herself in kerosene, that is normally gasoline, normally. Rose turns to face him, smiling. Now she's possessed. Now she's possessed, and set herself on fire in front of him, passing the curse to Joe. Now she passes the curse to Joe. Mostly she did not know what's going to happen, so mostly the demon went inside of her, Rose. Now now evil is cursed to Joe. Like I said once before, There has to be someone next to close the person to pass the curse to. Mostly, she even then that happened, she literally died at the end anyway. So she died at the end, even though she passed the curse to Joe. She's dead. That sucks. She had a tragic ending. I wish she survived though, but sucks that she does die. But I believe there's an opening for a smile too. I believe this movie did a really good job with cinematics and good interesting plots and scares and jump scares and things like that. There's some stuff in the film that you notice that, oh, she's there on the thing. I did not actually miss that. She's there. But mostly, now we know the plot of this film. I believe that there's going to be a sequel to this because there's an opening to it. The curse did not die. The demonic creature did not die. Who knows? It might be a sequel. If this movie does well, I think it probably will do well. The box office because it looks interesting. I saw it already, so I think that's really the reason why I'm going to review with you guys now. It's not a review. It is a review, but I'm telling you the plot to it. So this is the entire film. I read the plot, so this literally tells you the entire film of the thing that I just read to you guys. So it's pretty damn big. So that's literally the plot of the film also. So now Joel has the curse, and now, yeah, it sucks. He literally seen Rose literally die in front of his eyes. Like shit. That's a creepy ass face, and she's dead, and he literally is tormented for the rest of his life. Like, and he has to explain to that people what's gonna happen. And now Trevor is the boyfriend that literally could not. Like I said, he was a good boyfriend. I have no problem with it. But the problem was, he thought that Rose was mentally insanity. He asked the therapist to help, but instead of bringing the therapist, he could have she was trying to get proof. She got the proof, you know. If if he gave a little bit of time to give her, she had the proof in her hands. If he gave a little bit moment of time of a moment of proof, as he had the proof showing to him, then maybe Rose probably will not went to this terrifying moment of actually at the very end murdering herself and passing the curse to Joel. Mostly, that was the only way maybe she had to do it because the demonic already went to her body, and she couldn't control it anyway. So the monster didn't control herself, and she dies. Curse wants to jump. So mostly, you can't do nothing about it. So she is literally hallucinating, so she can't literally control herself at the very most, at least anymore. So she goes. The real Joel comes in and tries again for her. She does that very end. So that sucks. I did mention all the cast members does a really good job. Everybody does a good job. Really do a really good job. Everybody. Susan B. Cons plays as Dr. Rose. Fantastic. And I think someone else plays as a 10-year-old girl of her, actually. I think as well. Kyle Godling plays as Joel. Kate Stacy plays Laura Weaver. I believe that she was the creepiest one in my opinion. Really weird. Jess T. Usher Chadwick. He does a good job as acting as well. Rob Morgan plays Robert Tilley. And I think he does a good job too. He's a really good, also good character. You know, Kyle Penn. He does a really good job as acting as a doctor. Really well done. He does a really good job. Robin Wharton plays Dr. Nurse Kit. She was pretty creepy too as well. She was really weird in this film. As not the character, as character wise, she was really creepy, but the adult wise, I mean, she does a really fantastic job as acting. Judy Reyes plays Victoria Munson. I think that's the I think that's the lady that the other husband died, actually. So that's the lady. And I think there's no picture for this one. And Genly, I think that's Holly. That should be the sister, I believe. Chris is the mother. I don't know the word. But there's like a lot of side characters afterwards, and they do a really good job. In my opinion, I think it does a really. I feel like this is a little bit like. I feel like this was literally like a paranormal activity in a way. I feel like it was a little bit of paranormal activity in fusing itself like that. In my opinion, it did a really good job, like being a creepy film in general. It just felt like it did its own way of being creepy and being weird and like I said, I probably give it like around like a. Oh, it's hard to like say what I'm gonna give it like. I don't know. What about this? I'm gonna give it around like 7.9 out of 10. Actually, it is the best one horror film I've seen right now, 2022, at the moment. It's creepy, it's good, it's really interesting. It's an hour and 55 minutes long. It does a good job of being really authentic, and the jump scares are not that stupid, and it's really creepy. You're gonna see all the weirdness to it. It's like, even a creepy ass smile definitely will turn you away from this film. I would not recommend watching this movie at night if you're a fan of weirdness and creepiness of a creepy ass smile. In my opinion, I recommend watching a different time period, like around depending what time you probably want to watch it. Watch it around like I don't know, like around 7 p.m. or like 6 p.m. around that range, so don't worry about the creepiness in the dark. But if you want to watch it at nighttime, so be it. Watch it. It probably will give you more immersion to this creepiness of the tone of the film in general. So I enjoyed it. I'll probably give it at some point out of 10. It's definitely worth watching if you're a fan of horror films and also physical horror and other bunch more to it. So, latest film, definitely enjoyed it. I loved it, and it's a really good experience if you're a fan of this genre. I'm a great fan of horror films in general, so I believe this movie does well as a horror aspect. Like I said, a lot of horror films don't do a lot of good job. Some of them do the shitty job and ruin the aspect of the film. Like The Visit, like I said, it was really terrible, and they don't actually. It mostly like I already made a review a long time ago, but it was already is started, but it got deleted because this app was gone. But that was literally terrible because the acting was horrible, uh, music was crap, story was horrible, writing was crap, and the acting was horrible. Like they put everything into a shitty concept, and the trailer. When we saw the trailer, we actually assumed that the person is going to die. But actual film, when they released it, we just noticed that nope, that's a fake. We don't see that particular part actually happen. So they kind of removed the aspect of the film into a diversity of weirdness. And it's pretty creepy, stupid. It gets really disgusting in that film too as well. For that film, I give it a really bad rating, like a -1 or a 2. That was one of the worst films I've seen. That particular part. So that's made by L.A. Shyamalan. So not good of a film on that edge of the film. So this is directed by who I don't know. Directed by Park Fen. I gotta congratulate you, Park Fen. You did a really good job directing Smile. Really fantastic. Great job, brother. You did a really good job as playing, but directing this in good film. Well done, bro. And I think cinematography is made by Charles Suffer. Like I said, cinematography was phenomenal. Really well done. And it just feels like people say. People also said that this is a remake from the original. I think I've never seen the original, but A Smile is a 22 American spiritual horror film written by Park Finn. That's what I just said earlier, and based on its 2020 short film, Laura Has a Split. I'd never seen that one before, but let me see. Hold on. I never seen that particular thing before. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I think that one I have not seen. It's a short film. I think it's a short film. I think this is deliberately. Oh, wait a minute. I think this is like a little bit of close to Smile, I think. So it looks like looks the same as person to Smile, I think. But if I can see the cast, yeah, I think yeah, that's the same person. Plays as Lori. So that one I did not notice that it's the same person plays as that. I mean, if I watched it, I probably would have actually liked this one a little bit more. But like I said, Smile, like I said, it's still really good. Like I said, at some point on 10, I give it a pretty good rating. But like, it's pretty interesting. This is kind of connected to that particular thing. So pretty cool. So that particular short film is called Lori has a split. So that's actually connection to Smile. Actually, so mostly I think this one probably shows how she gets the curse of the Smile curse, I believe. Then it continues on with the Smile, with her coming in and doing all that stuff, and then she dies at the very end. Not the very end, but she dies at the beginning of the film. So yes, so that's an interesting thing to the story thing that I never noticed. That's pretty cool. So I will definitely put that, not a link, but I actually will put that particular name of the film, of the short film. You can probably look it up and probably watch it in your own time and see what you think about the short film in general. So between this, like I said before, this definitely is a good rating for Smile. So 7.9 out of 10 is really good. Definitely enjoyed the film in general. So guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay safe and hope you guys enjoy a review of Smile. And like I said, it's really enjoyable. It's a very good ride. A really good, really good ride of Smile. Another good thing, guys, God of War Ragnarok is coming out this week alone. Hope you guys enjoy God of War Ragnarok. And I can't wait to play God of War Ragnarok and tell you how I feel about the game. I think I'm gonna start reviewing games as well. After I play the game, I'm gonna review them and see how I feel about the game and tell you what I feel about it. And I'll see if I'll just see if I'm gonna do reviews of the game, but I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna fully play it and see if I'm gonna do a review. But as of right now, hope you guys enjoyed this review of Smile. Thanks for watching as always. Stay safe, and I'll try to do my best to do Black Adam. It is released, but the very reason it's not showing on stream just yet for me. So when it does arrive, I'll do the video for Black Adam as soon as possible. So have a good night, guys. Stay safe and have a great day. Peace out, and also have a great weekend, guys.
Open the door! Hold on, I'm coming! Rose! Rose?